In this video, I'll explain the entire Uncharted timeline in chronological order. It consists of 6 main games, 1 comic, 1 motion comic, and there's even a book. Throughout the video, there will be a timeline animation at the bottom of the screen, which should make it easier to follow along and understand exactly when certain events are taking place. Before we start explaining the first game, we need to cover some backstory. Nathan Drake was born in 1975. He was the second son of American archaeologist Cassandra Morgan and her husband, and had a brother, Samuel, who was older than him by 5 years. In 1980, when Nathan was 5, his mother Cassandra died due to an illness. Nathan and his brother Sam ended up at the orphanage after their father decided to give up custody of them. Both boys were entrusted to St. Francis's Boys' Home, a Catholic orphanage run by nuns and priests. All of their mother's possessions, including her archaeological works, were later sold by their father. The two spent the next few years in the orphanage, during which Nathan developed an interest in books and was taught Latin by the orphanage's nuns. Eventually, Sam was kicked out of the orphanage due to criminal activities. He then took a job to support both himself and set Nathan up as best as possible for his eventual exit from the orphanage. When Nathan was 13, he got into a fight one day with an older boy. A nun walked into his room to scold him about his bruised eye. Once the nun left the room, Nathan runs outside to meet with his brother Sam. Sam takes him out of the school to show him the cool motorcycle he has bought him as a gift, which he realized was Sam's way of apologizing. He also announces that he has found a job that pays well, but there is a caveat. He has to leave Nathan alone here for an entire year. Nathan does not like that because he feels it's unfair, but Sam explains that nothing about their lives has been fair. Then, Sam says that he found their mother's stuff. He tracked down the buyer who got them and took Nathan to get them back. Sam took Nathan from the orphanage to go find their mother's belongings. The boys break into a mansion and realize that it is filled with very old stuff. Soon, they find their mother's diary, but an old lady appears and holds them at gunpoint. As they wait for the police to arrive, the old lady figures out that they are Cassandra Morgan's sons and tells them that she used to work with their mother, the most brilliant historian she ever knew. They were after Avery's treasure, but Cassandra fell sick and died. The old lady gives the journal to the boys and dies as the police arrive. The boys make it out of the mansion and wonder what they're going to do now. Unfortunately, the officers quickly spot them both, and a chase scene ensues with Nate and Sam successfully losing the cuffs, managing to reach freedom. After motorcycling through the city's alleyway outskirts, the two stop for a break and to catch their breaths, realizing they cannot go back to their previous lives. They know that the police are after them, so Sam suggests they change their surname from Morgan to Drake. History says that Francis Drake had no heirs, but Cassandra Morgan believed otherwise. By the time he was around 15, a young Nate ended up in Cartagena, Colombia. Sam was in prison somewhere, leaving Nate alone to fend for himself. Nathan enters a museum and he makes a design of Francis Drake's ring on his notebook. At some point, he approaches the vault and tries a key in the case guarding the ring. Nathan is caught by one of the guards and he's kicked out of the museum. The young boy tails Solly around the city and follows him to a meeting with a man who makes a key for him. Solly puts the key in his wallet and Nathan makes it his purpose to get that wallet. Later, Nathan spots Solly having a drink with Kate and he steals the wallet from him. However, Solly knows what's going on and appears right in front of him, asking to get his wallet back. Solly comments that the kid is good, but he is telegraphing all of his moves. Nathan refuses to give Solly his wallet back, pretending he never stole it, but he can't trick this guy. Finally, Nathan gives him the wallet, but he's kept the key to himself. Soon, Nathan breaks into the museum when nobody is around and uses the key to open the vault. He steals the ring and inserts it in an item which starts spinning around like it's going to be unlocked. However, Kate Marlowe and her men crash the party. Nathan tries to escape with the ring, but 2 of Kate's men go after him. Despite doing his best, Nathan is cornered by one of those guys, and he has a gun pointed at him. Suddenly, a gunshot is heard, and the man drops to the ground. Solly is the one who shot the man, and he takes Nathan to safety. Solly treats the boy to a meal as he tries to be friendly with him, but Nathan is not sure he can trust him. Solly asks him about the ring, and Nathan replies that it belongs to his family, so he came here to get it. To Solly's knowledge, Francis Drake did not have any children, but Nathan states that he just did not have any children in England. As they talk about the ring, Nathan shows it to Sully and explains to him that Francis Drake used to be working for Queen Elizabeth I, who sent him on various expeditions around the world. Then he talks to Sully about the device he inserted the ring into. That device is some sort of decoder that probably leads to a treasure. The boy makes this assumption because Francis Drake lied to Queen Elizabeth about one of his trips. He told her that the trip lasted 6 months, while it would normally only last 1 month with his sailing experience. Most probably, Francis was on a secret expedition that he kept secret from the Queen. Sully remarks that the kid has talent, but he also has lots of things to learn. They finally introduce themselves to one another. He would go on to meet and befriend several notable figures within the society, including the Indonesian pirate captain Eddie Raja, the British treasure hunter Harry Flynn, the American businessman Rafe Adler, British fortune hunter Charlie Cutter, and fellow American fortune hunter Jason Dante, all of whom, except for Cutter, would become rivals and eventual enemies of Nate. Around the year 2000, Nate and Sam got involved with Rafe Adler in their mutual search for the lost treasure of pirate captain Henry Avery, despite Nate's dislike and distrust of Rafe. The trio used Rafe's wealth to bribe their way into a Panamanian prison, buying the services of a warden named Vargas to aid them in their search. Vargas has opened a letter sent to Nathan by his partner Rafe, and he knows that they are looking for the treasure of a pirate named Avery. Vargas has done some research and knows that Avery pulled a huge heist in the past and walked away with it. Nathan tells him that he can discuss that with Rafe, and Vargas removes his handcuffs. Nathan proceeds to search the old prison, but he finds no clues. When he comes back, he asks Vargas to see if he can find any blueprints of this old prison while he has to speak to Sam, who is their Avery expert. Nathan meets privately with Sam and Rafe to inform them that Vargas wants in. He also shows them a little item he found, which he concealed from Vargas. This item depicts Saint Dismas on the day of the crucifixion when he was crucified next to Jesus. Sam comments that there's a cathedral of Saint Dismas in Scotland, and that is probably where they can find their next clue. A group of angry inmates interrupts them and a fight ensues. Vargas and his men break the fight and the prison boss takes them to his office. He is angry at them because Nathan hid the item from him. Nathan tries to justify himself, but there is no way out. Vargas wants in, and Rafe agrees to give him an equal percentage of the treasure. Vargas warns him not to double-cross him again, but Rafe stabs him with a knife and kills him in his own office. The guards are notified as the trio starts running in order to escape the prison. Unfortunately, Sam is shot and he can't keep up with the escape attempt. He falls from a height, and there's nothing his brother can do for him. Rafe tells Nathan that his boat is at the other end of the river, and the two of them escaped together. Throughout the following months, the two continued to work together to find the treasure in Scotland, but eventually went their separate ways. Uncharted Comic. In the early 2000s, Nathan and Sully get contacted by siblings Michael and Rose Ludlow to steal a book. Nathan carries out the theft with Harry Flynn, and the two narrowly escape with their lives. Afterwards, Flynn leaves, and Nathan becomes intrigued by the book, which is written in code. As they have time before the handover, Nathan cracks the code and discovers that the book is, in fact, the journal of Sir Richard Byrd. The journal describes how Byrd was hired by the Russians towards the end of World War II to hide the Amber Room, a treasure of amber panels. Byrd hid the room in the underground city of Agartha, which he had discovered on an earlier flight to the Arctic. The coded coordinates of the entrance to Agartha were engraved on the amber seal. However, the seal was lost in the war. Nathan and Sully then meet with the Ludlows to hand over the journal. The pair take an interest in Nathan's ancestry and let it slip that they plan to acquire the amber seal at an auction. Sully and Nathan resolve to steal the amber seal and find the amber room before the Ludlows do. Using Sully's underground contacts, they discover that the amber seal is being auctioned at Volkov Castle by its owner, Russian crime lord Mykola Rusnak. Nathan and Sully plan to break in and steal it. While scouting the castle, Nathan narrowly escapes from Chloe Fraser, who attempts to kill him. Nathan is caught as he attempts to steal the seal during the auction. However, Chloe convinces Rusnak to let Nathan go. After learning that the seal will not be sold until the next day, Nathan and Sully return to the castle that night and break inside. While Sully remains outside, Nathan enters the castle where he runs into Chloe. They agree to a brief truce and work together. Nate manages to get the coded coordinates off the seal before Chloe lifts it off its podium, triggering an alarm. As they escape, Chloe leaves the seal with Nathan as she flees. Upon exiting the castle, Nathan is taken to a secure location by the Ludlows, who have also kidnapped Sully. The Ludlows reveal that they are the descendants of Thomas Doty. Thomas was Drake's friend who was executed for treason on his evidence. Now, the Ludlows want revenge. After getting Agartha's coordinates from Nathan, they leave him and Sully to their fate at the hands of Rusnak. Despite Rusnak's attempts to extract the coordinates from them, the pair are rescued by Chloe, and the three agree to work together. Sully remarks that Nathan is only allowing Chloe to help because he's attracted to her. As the trio attempt to take the seal and journal back, the Ludlows take Chloe hostage and force Nathan to fly them to Agartha, knowing that the coordinates Nate originally gave them were wrong. The plane was heavily damaged during landing, leaving the group stranded in an underground cavern surrounded by the remains of Bird's camp. Sully is instructed to stay behind and repair the plane, while the others continue ahead. They find the Amber Room, which is smashed and worthless. Angered, Michael attempts to kill Nate, who escapes with Chloe into the city of Agartha. Michael and Rose catch up to them, and in the standoff, they are ambushed by creatures called the Smoking Gods. Escaping from the Smoking Gods, in the central cavern of Agartha, the group discovers several flying machines, along with the Second Sun, a wall of shining diamonds. Michael wants to get an army to stake a claim to Agartha, but Rose refuses and shoots him before removing a single large diamond from the wall. This causes a breach, allowing lava to flow through and flood the city. Rose is caught in the eruption and dies. Nathan and Chloe escape with Sully in the plane they arrived in, but it gets caught in the volcanic eruption and crashes into the sea. They wash up on the shore of an unknown tropical country and take the opportunity to relax. While Sully chats up some beautiful women, Nathan and Chloe spend the night together. The next morning, Nate wakes up to find a message from her saying that they will see each other again. It is then revealed that her true motivation was to capture images of the flying machines of Agartha for her employer, Roman. Nathan and Sully meet at the dock the next morning, with Sully observing that they probably haven't seen the last of Chloe. The two set off on a rusty boat, which was all Sully could afford, as they didn't exactly walk away from Agartha with a lot of treasure. Nathan points out that they did walk away, but sometimes that's enough. Uncharted: Golden Abyss. A few years later, in 2005, Nathan and his friend Jason Dante arrive in Panama on a new adventure. When they arrive at the site, it becomes apparent that the two of them are kind of different. Nathan likes to go slow and have things planned, while Dante likes to go faster. He seems like the kind of guy who acts first and then asks questions. Nathan mentions the warning signs asking visitors to stay away, but Dante doesn't really care about them and starts running to their destination. As the two of them start climbing, Dante realizes that there's no rope to climb up the hill, although there must be one. Nathan notices that the rope has been cut, and Dante remarks that Garrow might have done it. Nathan feels strange when he hears that name because Garrow is a drug lord and nobody should mess with him. If they happen to be near his territory, maybe they should consider leaving. But again, Dante dismisses his worries and continues on their quest. As the two of them climb from mountain to mountain, they see several symbols carved in several places. Nathan takes a look at the symbols and deduces that a race named Kuna must have lived in this place in the far past. Nathan also finds a turquoise glyph, but Dante grabs it out of his hands excited because he can sell this item and make some money. The two explorers find ruins in every part of their journey, and Nathan always examines the findings to see if he can discover anything worthy. Soon, they make it back to a straight road, and Dante informs his friend that if they take this path, they will end up back where they started. Nathan asks why they didn't take this road as a shortcut to get here, but Dante wanted to take him through the forest, hoping they might find anything valuable. As they discuss, they are suddenly attacked by two armed men. Thankfully, Nathan has a gun and is able to take both of the attackers down. Then, the adventurers stumble on a razor wire protecting a digging site, but it appears Dante has the combination to the lock. Nathan opens the lock and the two of them enter the digging site. Nathan remarks that this is a giant grave and grabs a helmet in his arms. After examining it, he concludes that this item originates back to the 16th century and New Spain. He assumes that this helmet used to belong to a soldier who died here. Out of the blue, a woman named Marissa Chase appears and corrects Nathan, saying that these soldiers did not just die, but they were killed. Dante seems to know Marissa and asks her how she got here. The woman replies that she followed him. Apparently, Marissa and Dante are partners, but she does not trust him. After introducing herself to Nathan, Marissa wonders what they are doing here, which is a good question since Nathan wonders the same thing. Dante tells them that he will explain in due time, but then receives a phone call from Garrow. Marissa reveals that Dante is paying money to Garrow, but maybe he missed a payment or something because Garrow sounds agitated on the phone. Dante hangs up and tells the other two not to worry. He warns them to stay put as he leaves to make some arrangements. When they are left alone, Marissa gives Nathan a history lesson about the area, saying that the Spanish came here to get the gold and killed many members of the Kuna race. To Nathan, it seems like the Kuna fought back and killed them, but Marissa asks him to grab a skull and examine it. Nathan can't see anything, and Marissa explains that this is what she's trying to show him. The Spanish soldiers were not killed by a weapon, but rather, they were poisoned. In fact, Marissa examines their teeth and found traces of arsenic. Then, Marissa shows Nathan some markings on a grave, and the latter makes a funny expression. Marissa believes that Nathan understands the markings and wants him to share his knowledge, but Nathan holds back. To convince him, Marissa asks him to become secret partners since they already know that Dante will dispose of them once he gets what he wants anyway. Nathan is reluctant to accept this deal, but Marissa shows him an impressive amulet that she has been wearing. She will allow him to examine it if he shares what he knows about the grave markings. After taking a look at the amulet, Nathan makes a copy of the grave symbol by using paper and charcoal. He tells Marissa that this symbol is Visigoth, which means it originates back to the 8th century, long before the Spanish conquered this place. As they talk, the two of them are shot at by some men, and Nathan has to grab his gun again. Once he gets rid of the attackers, Marissa prompts him to leave because it is not safe here anymore. As the two of them roam around the mountains, Marissa informs Nathan that she has found a site that's full of uranium. She suspects that Garrow might know about that place, and he wants to capitalize on it. Soon, the two of them stumble on an armed man guarding a site, and Nathan knocks him out. Marissa remarks that this is not one of Garrow's men, but rather he has been hired by Dante. Right next, Marissa and Nathan have to cross a bridge, but they do not realize that the ropes have been cut. Marissa makes it across, but the bridge collapses while Nathan is on it. Despite this setback, Nathan manages to hold on and escape danger. The only thing left to do now is to reunite with Marissa. When he finds her again, they decide to go back to get Dante's Jeep, but it is nowhere to be found. Thankfully, Marissa has her own vehicle nearby and they head that way. However, they are met by Dante, Garrow, and some of his thugs when they arrive there. Garrow blames Dante for hiring men to steal his glyphs, while Nathan tries to convince him that they have no part in this. Dante says that he made a mistake, but in any case, his men only found some old bones. But then, Garrow sees the amulet on Marissa's neck and he takes it. Nathan tries to defend her and attacks Garrow's men, but he is knocked unconscious and Marissa is taken away. When Nathan wakes up, he finds himself in an old building and starts working on his escape. Soon, Nathan escapes and meets with Marissa again. She tells him that Garrow took her to her office for questioning, but she managed to escape when it was Dante's turn to be questioned. Nathan insists they should leave this place for good, but Marissa declares that the amulet means a lot to her, and she wants to go back to get it. Once they arrive at Garrow's location, they lay eyes on Dante and realize that he is still alive. Nathan has to kill many of Garrow's men to get into the building, but now they have been alerted and they are looking for him as well. Inside the building, Garrow shows how ruthless he is when he throws one of his men from the top floor because he believes him to be incompetent. Nathan is nearby and he hears Garrow speaking with Dante. Their conversation reveals that Dante is not a prisoner of Garrow, but rather his partner. As it appears, he has promised Garrow that they can help each other find some gold, because they both want to be rich. Dante also talks to Garrow about Nathan, saying that he made a good choice to bring him here. Nathan found in 10 minutes more information than the old man found in 20 years. When Nathan reunites with Marissa, he gets angry when she calls him partner because she seems to already have one, this old man Dante mentioned. Marissa doesn't open up about that just yet, and the two of them focus on escaping the building first. When they are out, they agree to get to Garrow's headquarters so they can get into his office and get the amulet back. After lots of struggle, they make it to the office and they find lots of stash inside, including maps and archaeological findings. Nathan wants to know what's going on because there is no way Dante could find all of this. Marissa explains that her old partner, so to say, was her grandfather. A mining company found the site and the International Office of Antiquities was notified. Her grandfather came here to dig and he found the amulet. While he was trying to figure out its meaning, two things happened. One, he got terminal cancer and was running out of time. Two, Garrow got involved. Her grandfather needed somebody who could finish what he started and also deal with Garrow, so he hired Dante. All of these events brought them here today. Now that Nathan has the information he wants to know, he cracks Garrow's safe and returns the amulet to Marissa. Suddenly, the office is swarmed with guards, and Marissa hides in a truck full of dynamite. Unfortunately, one of Garrow's men drives the truck away with Marissa inside. Nonetheless, Nathan manages to find her again, even though Garrow finds them as well. Nathan tricks him into believing that he wants to cut a deal with him and pushes Marissa into the river. Then he attacks Garrow and jumps into the river as well. Marissa is mad at Nathan because she believes he has given the amulet to Garrow, but Nathan has hidden it in his pocket. When they are safe, Marissa takes Nathan to a location that used to belong to her grandfather. It seems Nathan has had enough and is ready to leave. The situation they're in has truly gotten out of control, yet Marissa manages to convince him to stay. She comments that it might be all about the gold for Dante and Nathan, but things were different for her grandpa. He was only trying to uncover history and not make money. As they speak, Nathan stares at a red book that has a symbol similar to the grave marking on its cover. As he starts reading it, Marissa informs him that her grandfather disappeared about a couple of weeks ago. Nathan assumes that Dante had nothing to do with her grandpa's disappearance, so this probably means that the old man translated the book and went on an adventure. As he translates some of the contents of the book, Nathan says something about the Sword of Steph. He comments that it originates back to the 16th century and it used to be an item that belonged to a sect called Sete Cidades. Their only mission back then was to find the gold taken away from Spain by 7 bishops. By trying to guess the last known location of the sect, Nathan pinpoints an area on the map and assumes that's where Marissa's grandfather went. The two of them get going, and they soon find a truck that used to belong to her grandfather. This is a sign that the old man must be around this area, so they start searching for him. Soon, they find the entrance to a cave that uncovers a whole ancient civilization. After unlocking a gate by finding the correct combinations of the symbols, they find the Chamber of the 7 Bishops with 7 large statues in it. Marissa finds her grandpa's notebook and starts reading it. The old man speaks about Marcos de Niza, an old member of the Sete Cidades. Furthermore, Marissa finds some pages that have been discovered by her grandpa. On these pages, they read the words of de Niza, who talks about his expedition. De Niza remarks that his group found the symbol of the 7 and they took it as if they would find the gateway to heaven, but instead, they found the gateway to hell. He also says something about the door of hell being locked, but it can be opened if one has the Sword of Stephen. Nathan and Marissa realize that the statues can be moved on the floor, so they start moving them in a combination that unlocks a door to the tomb of Stephen. Once they get inside, Marissa finds her grandpa's dead body. Nathan wonders if they should carry it back to the surface, but Marissa wants him to rest right there since this is what he would want. Soon, the two of them find the sword, but Dante finds them with a gun in his hand. However, Garrow joins the scene and attacks Dante. Nathan tries to use the Sword of Stephen as a distraction to attack Garrow, but the drug lord escapes with the sword and Marissa. Now, Nathan and Dante have to work together to escape this place, while also defending themselves from Garrow's men. The two of them try to save Marissa, but she is taken away by Garrow. When they are out of harm's way, their argument escalates into a fight. Dante wants to hire some mercenaries to attack Garrow, but Nathan does not agree with that approach because a war would put Marissa in danger. Nathan runs to his friend Sully for help and explains that Marissa is being taken to the Serpent Jungle, a place that is believed to be the way to the city of Wuivira, the City of Gold. Sully assumes that Garrow will keep Marissa alive as long as she gives him useful information, but they have to move fast. Since they do not have an army to fight against Garrow, they should play this smart and be a bit sneaky. Sully gets a small boat for the two of them, and they start paddling to the Serpent Jungle. The place is full of hostile soldiers, but Sully has come prepared, and he eliminates them with a grenade launcher. As they navigate the rainforest, they have to go against more of Garrow's men. At some point, Sully mentions that he's hearing helicopters approaching, and he assumes that Garrow is flying more men here. Nathan tells him they need to rush because Marissa will be in trouble if Garrow finds the Serpent Temple. Soon, they start hearing gunfire while they also get a chance to look at one of the helicopters up close. Sully mentions that these are transport helicopters, but Garrow has none of them in his fleet. Nathan reveals that Dante told him something about hiring mercenaries, but he didn't believe that he would actually do it. As they continue to move around the forest, Sully hurts his leg when he tries to make a big jump. His leg is busted, but he can still make a few steps. Soon, Nathan finds the Temple of the Serpents, but Sully can't follow up due to his leg. He suggests that Nathan should go find Marissa while he stays outside. When he gets the chance, he will try to steal one of the helicopters so they have a vehicle of escape. After dealing with more of Garrow's men, Nathan finds the temple. When he enters, he realizes that the temple has now been occupied by Dante's men. Dante himself orders his guys to raise the bridge leading to the temple so they can trap Garrow and his men inside. Nathan hears Dante ordering his men to save Garrow. Dante sees this as the perfect opportunity to give him some well-deserved payback. Nathan works his way around the temple and soon finds Marissa trying to talk some sense to two soldiers who are planting explosives on a support column. Marissa tries to escape, and she is lucky enough to have Nathan provide cover for her. When the two of them finally meet again, Nathan tries to tell her that they need to leave while Dante and Garrow are busy fighting one another. However, Marissa has found a majestic door, the doorway of the gods, and she insists that they need to find a way to get past it because this is what Deniza was talking about. The door has the symbol of the sun and the 7 rays on it, which means this is the symbol of the 7 Deniza wrote about. Nathan realizes that the amulet Marissa has been holding is actually a key. He tries the amulet on the door and it opens after they find the correct combination. What they find inside is a lake. Thankfully, they are lucky enough to also find a boat and they start paddling. As they do, they share some more information about one another, and Marissa reveals that her parents were killed when she was a kid. Soon, they arrive in front of another huge door, and they manage to open it, wondering what is the big secret that this ancient civilization was trying to protect. Eventually, they find a giant room full of gold and Stefan's body inside. As they try to get some valuable objects, Marissa realizes that she has stolen a Geiger device from Garrow by mistake. This device measures radioactive objects, and now Marissa puts the story together. As it appears, Deniza called this place the doorway to hell because all of the gold is radioactive. The Spanish found this place, but they were affected by the radiation and they gradually died. Dante crashes the party and tells them that he already knew about all of this because Garrow had found out accidentally. These mountains are filled with uranium. Dante wants to get all the gold anyway, but Nathan tries to talk him out of it, saying that millions of people could die if this gold gets out to the world. Dante claims that the radiation levels are low and people will only get slightly affected. But in any case, he does not care much about people. All he wants to do is to make money. Nathan jumps him and the two of them have a fight against each other. Nathan beats Dante, but he still gives him the chance to escape together. Dante is blinded by his greed and he doesn't want to go with them. Once they get outside, Nathan tries to activate the explosives to destroy Wuivira, but he can't do it because Dante is inside. However, Marissa grabs the detonator and presses the button. She reminds Nathan that Wui Vera is poisonous. Her grandpa died from this radiation, and she will not let anyone else dock. The temple starts collapsing while Nathan and Marissa try to make it out of there. However, they have to face one more obstacle. Garrow finds them and he shoots at them with a rocket launcher. Marissa is temporarily trapped, but Nathan runs to Garrow and fights him. After beating him up, Garrow falls to his death when the bridge he is standing on collapses. Nathan goes back to Marissa and uses a lever to lift the statue that is trapping her body. Nathan releases her, but the whole place is going down, and the two of them don't seem to have a way out. Right then, Sully appears like a deus ex machina and throws a rope for them to grab. Soon, the three of them make it to safety, and Sully proceeds to check if any of the helicopters have fuel so they can get out of here. Marissa states that the amulet belongs in hell with the rest of the gold and throws it away. She shares a romantic moment with Nathan, and the two of them are about to kiss, but Sully interrupts them to tell them they are ready to go. As they walk toward the helicopter after this adventure that almost cost them their lives, Sully starts telling them some of his old stories. Uncharted: Eye of Indra. A year later, in 2006, Nathan is hired by crime lord Daniel Pinkerton to locate the Eye of Indra, the third and final piece of the treasures of Indra. Pinkerton's collection already contains the other two pieces, the Path of Indra and the Wrath of Indra. Nathan looks over Pinkerton's documents in a bar. Two thugs come up and told him the bar is not a library and threatened him, but as he fights them, one goon points a gun at him but is saved by the bar's owner, Rika. As they left, Nate asks for Rika's help translating the documents in exchange for paying for the broken table when Nate punched one of the goons at it. They discover that the Eye of Indra is in fact hidden within the other two treasures, which are locked inside Pinkerton's safe. Rather than inform Pinkerton that he already has the eye, Nate chooses to steal the artifact from him. Nathan and Rika spend the night together, and the next morning, Rika reveals she has already got somebody to help them with the theft. Nathan is unhappy about this, but while they argue, armed pirates storm the room and apprehend them. The pirates' leader is revealed to be Eddie Raja, Nathan's old rival. It is revealed that Eddie is Rika's brother, and she has asked him to help them with the theft. Eddie becomes enraged when he realizes that they have slept together, and he threatens to kill Nathan. After Eddie calms down, they make their plans for the theft. Nathan demands that they follow his rules if Eddie is to help. After her brother leaves, Rika apologizes for involving Eddie and asks Nathan how he knows him. He explains how Eddie had planned to double-cross him on a previous job, but he had beat him to the punch. The three gather outside Pinkerton's mansion at night, ready for the heist. Eddie and Nathan persuade Rika to stay behind and cover them. To create a distraction, Eddie blows up Pinkerton's cars, and amid the confusion caused by the explosion, they end up going inside the mansion. Nathan and Eddie are discovered soon after entering the mansion and are pinned down with barely any bullets left. After their final detonator fails to open the safe, Nathan quickly devises a plan, and they allow themselves to be captured. They tell Rika to do the same and hide Eddie's gun underneath the table. Pinkerton tortures the two and eventually brings in Rika as a bargaining chip. Once Rika is in the room, Nathan tells Pinkerton that the eye is in his safe. With Pinkerton briefly distracted opening the safe and looking at the Eye of Indra, Rika breaks loose and takes Eddie's gun from beneath the table. She shoots Pinkerton, wounding him. Nathan explains to Pinkerton that after their detonator failed, being captured and getting him to open the safe was the only way they could get the treasure. Rika then summarily executes the wounded Pinkerton. Later, they stand at a dock discussing a fine job. However, Rika betrays both Nathan and Eddie by taking the amulet for herself, holding them at gunpoint and repeating Nathan's earlier statement that she simply beat him to the punch. Nate assures Rika that he will find her, and she replies that she will look forward to it. As they watch her sail away, Eddie orders Nate not to say a word. 3 days later, Nathan relaxes at a beach bar, telling Sullivan of the recent events. Sully finds the story amusing and tells Nathan that he should have known better than to team up with Eddie or any of his family, but questions how he now plans to find Francis Drake's coffin without any money. Nathan reveals he does actually have a plan, though he will be needing Sully's help this time. Pointing to a television featuring a report by Elena Fisher, Nate tells him that he is meeting her tomorrow. And the best part is that Elena's producers have agreed to fund the whole expedition. Sully laughs and says he'll believe it when he sees it. Sometime later, around 2007, Nathan expands his treasure hunting ventures by taking on work for various clients. One of them, Ecuadorian drug runner Ramon Valdez, hires him to retrieve the staff of A.R. Manco from Pacarictambo. However, after Nate delivers the artifact, Valdez betrays him, forcing Nate into a narrow escape from Ecuador. Uncharted: Drake's Fortune. A year after his adventure in Ecuador, in 2008, Nathan finds himself at the ship trying to get a coffin opened. Allegedly, the coffin contains the body of his ancestor explorer, Francis Drake. With him is a reporter, Elena, who is recording everything with her camera. She comments that she has done her research on Francis Drake and she found that he had no kids. Nathan states that history can be wrong sometimes and finally opens the coffin. The coffin is revealed to be empty, but Nathan does find a diary inside of it. Elena wants to get some footage of the diary, but Nathan stops her because the deal was just to get footage of the coffin. Elena reminds him that this expedition would not be possible for him if her show did not fund it, so she wants to have access to everything. Nathan asks her to hold that thought as he is concerned with something else right now. He communicates with his friend Sully and prompts him to hurry up because they're going to be attacked by pirates. Elena is terrified to see the pirates and remarks that they should call the Coast Guard, but Nathan stops her from doing so because he does not have a permit to dive in this spot. This means that they might end up in a Panamanian jail if they call the authorities. With that said, Nathan gives Elena a gun, and the two of them try to deal with the pirates themselves. As the gunfight gets ugly, the pirates decide to blow the ship up, and Nathan tells Elena to jump in the water because that's the only way they can save themselves. Sully appears with his seaplane and saves the two. In the plane, Nathan informs Sully about his discovery and states that he suspects Francis Drake faked his own death in the past because he was on to something big. Elena interferes and tells Nathan that she deserves to get a look at that diary when they land. Moments later, Sully has a boat ready and he talks with Nathan privately as Elena is on the phone with the producer of her show. She's trying to convince him that this story is worth it and asks him to send her the filming crew. In the meantime, Nathan reveals that the diary is talking about a statue Francis used to call El Dorado. Not only that, but he has also pinpointed the location of the statue, so Nathan and Sully know exactly where to go next. But before they go, Sully voices his worries about Elena, saying that if she makes this story go public, they are going to have big troubles. For starters, they're going to have trouble with the authorities. In addition, everybody will learn about El Dorado and they will try to race them to the treasure. Nathan is convinced that this is the best course of action, and Sully starts the engine, sailing away and abandoning Elena to the coast. When the two of them arrive at the designated location, they see nothing but the thick forest. However, they are able to find a temple nearby and they start exploring it. Sully gets angry when they find nothing of worth inside the temple. Soon, they find a room with many symbols on the walls and they realize that the people living here used to worship the statue. Nathan notices some tracks on the ground, which means that the statue has been dragged. But the question is, when did this happen? The Spaniards had found this place centuries ago, and the statue might have been moved by them. In any case, Nathan suggests that they follow the tracks and see where they take them. As they follow the tracks, they find a German U-boat trapped in the middle of the jungle. Nathan gives Sully the notebook to hold on to as he gets inside the U-boat to see if he can find anything useful. At some point, Nathan gets to the captain's cabin and finds a missing page from the diary in the hands of the captain. As it appears, the captain has created a map by copying the page, which means that the Germans were after the same treasure as Francis Drake. Nathan tells Sully about his findings, but their connection is suddenly cut. Nathan navigates the U-boat to get back out, but he activates a missile accidentally. When he gets back to Sully, he realizes that he's being kept by a criminal named Gabriel Roman and his partner, Navarro. Navarro confiscated one of the maps Nathan found and held him and Sully at gunpoint, as the latter owed Roman a lot of money. Eventually, Roman decides to shoot Sully because he is tired of him. Right at that moment, the missile explodes inside the U-boat and causes some panic. Nathan sees this opportunity to run away, leaving the dead Sully behind. Roman tells his men to find him and kill him. Suddenly, Elena finds Nathan as he's running to save his life, and she punches him for abandoning her back in Panama. Thankfully, Elena has a jeep and they manage to escape. Nathan knows where El Dorado must be located, so the two of them find a plane and travel to a little island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. However, they are in for a rough landing because somebody shoots the plane down. Elena jumps first using a parachute, and Nathan follows her, but the two of them are now separated and they have to find each other in the forest. Once Nathan touches down, he realizes that he has to fight for his life because this island is already full of enemies. Most probably, Roman and his men beat them to the race and made it to the island first. After making his way into a castle and managing to stay alive, Nathan spots Elena, but so do some armed enemies. Nathan shoots at them to protect Elena, but one of the hostiles shoots him with a rocket-propelled grenade launcher, and Nathan renders unconscious. When he wakes up, Nathan is inside a cell, but he's happy to see Elena in his window. The reporter jokes with him and tells him that he's not going to find his treasure inside this cell. Then, she tells him that she's going to save him and leaves. While Nathan is waiting, a guy named Eddie Raja appears to make him an offer. He wants Nathan to help him find the treasure, and then he will consider sparing his life. Nathan knows Raja because he is Solly's former partner. While Raja is trying to convince Nathan to help him find the treasure, Elena breaks the cell's wall by using a jeep, and Nathan escapes with her. However, they are not safe just yet, as Raja's men go after them. Nathan uses the gun mounted on the jeep to keep them away, but soon, Elena, who is driving the jeep, runs off the road and almost throws them into the sea. Raja appears with his men and asks Nathan to hand him the map. Nathan tries to be smart, but Raja does not hesitate to shoot them. Nathan and Elena duck inside the jeep and they escape the bullets. Since there's nowhere to go now, Nathan backs the jeep and they fall into the sea with it. Thankfully, they are safe and they make it back to the shore. Despite this, Raja's men are everywhere and they have to put up a good fight against them. When they get some time to relax, Elena checks if her camera is working and she reviews some footage of the harbor. She assumes that this is the place where ships come, and that might be the spot used to bring El Dorado to this island. Nathan believes she is right, but he's not much interested anymore. He wants to go to the harbor, but now his priority is to find a ship and then get out of here. Elena tells him that they can't give up now, but Nathan reminds her that they are outnumbered. He also adds that he will have a hard time swallowing it if Elena is harmed. Elena asks him not to use her as an excuse and reminds him that they knew they were going to find some trouble when they got here. In any case, Nathan convinces her that they have to go because this adventure is getting way too dangerous and it's not worth losing their lives over. As they try to get to the harbor, they find a castle and take some time to explore it. Elena gets her camera rolling when she realizes that they are in an important space in the castle. Nathan finds a book and starts reading it. At some point, he stumbles on a page that depicts the statue of El Dorado, and that confirms that the statue is located on this island. Nathan touches a ring on his neck out of habit, and Elena asks him if somebody special gave him that ring. Nathan explains that he inherited this ring from Francis Drake. There is a carving on the ring and a date. Nathan translates the Latin carving and explains that it means greatness from small beginnings. He adds that the date is one day after the supposed date when Francis died, which means that the official reports about him are wrong. After Nathan tears the page depicting El Dorado, he and Elena make it to the balcony. Elena says that she can't see any ships, but Nathan sees a boat on the other end of the shore. The plan is to mount the boat and get out of here, but Elena asks Nathan if he can get the boat alone and then come to pick her up from here. Nathan asks her what she is planning, but Elena replies that she only wants to capture some more footage for her show. Nathan makes her promise that she's going to stay put and then leaves to get the boat. Soon, Nathan makes it to the boat, but he has to take cover when he sees some of Raja's men walking near it. Elena sneaks behind him and she insists on showing him something with the camera. Nathan wants to focus on getting that boat, but Elena tells him that this is very important and shows him some footage of Solly getting in a helicopter with Roman in Navarro. Elena asks him if he really trusts Solly, and Nathan replies that Solly is a lot of things, but he is not a backstabber. As the boat is taken by Raja's men, Nathan asks Elena where the helicopter is headed. Elena shows him on the map, and Nathan assumes that they're going to the monastery. Elena asks him what they're going to do with Solly when they find him. To Nathan, the best course of action would be to beat him up for good if he is working with the bad guys. As they start walking, the two of them have to cross a wooden bridge, but Elena is unlucky and she falls through a hole. Nathan holds her hand, but he can't pull her up unless Elena gives him the other hand as well. In order to do that, Elena has to let the camera go. She chooses to save her life over the camera, and Nathan pulls her up. As they roam around the forest, they see a soldier impaled on a booby trap, and Elena wonders why the bad guys are setting traps while they are the ones walking around. Nathan believes this is a bit fishy and is afraid that somebody else is on the island as well. Soon, the explorer and the reporter find the monastery and see that Sully is alive. The men guarding Sully spot them, but Nathan takes them out. As they have a talk with Sully, the man explains that he's been trying to disorient Roman in order to buy time for Nathan. He says that he was not dead when Roman shot him because the bullet hit Francis Drake's diary, which had been given to him by Nathan moments before Roman showed up. Sully opens the diary and shows Nathan a symbol that the Spanish used to mark their vaults. He believes that if they are able to find the symbol, they will also find some old vaults and probably some gold inside of them. A few moments later, the group finds a secret passage in the monastery, and Nathan decides to go alone because he will make less noise as opposed to going with the group. The passage leads him to another room, but the bad guys are already there. Nathan hears Raja telling Roman that his men are getting massacred, but Roman blames him for being unable to kill Nathan. Raja starts saying that Nathan is not their only problem. He exclaims that this island is cursed, and there are creatures killing his men. Roman is sick and tired of listening to him, so he orders Raja to get his men and leave this place. Then, he asks Navarro if they're going to find this treasure because this expedition is wasting his money instead of making him money. Nathan communicates with Sully through the radio and asks him to create a diversion so they can get Roman and Navarro away from the secret vault. Once Sully does this and they meet again, the group finds another secret passage. Nathan and Elena enter first, but a mechanism is activated and they realize they just entered a trap. Nathan and Elena are separated from Sully and they have to find a way out of this prison room. As they roam around the secret rooms of the monastery, Nathan finds a dead body and realizes this is Francis Drake. Nathan is disappointed because his ancestor did not find any kind of greatness. He just died in this trap while trying to find the gold. Then, Nathan also finds Raja and one of his men, who are trying to escape from some weird mutants trying to kill them. Nathan has to join the fight because he has to protect himself as well. Raja and his men are taken by the mutants, but Nathan is saved as Elena throws a rope for him just in time. As they run away from the mutants, they end up in another room, and Nathan assumes that they're sitting right on top of the room where El Dorado is located. Nathan descends into the room on his own because Elena lacks the physical ability to follow him down there. He finds a recorder playing a video on the wall, and he sees the statue of El Dorado as an opening scene. Then, a mutant appears tied with chains, and he is acting like he's a zombie. Nathan also finds a note written by Francis next to the camera. The note remarks that the Spaniards have unleashed a great evil, and that Francis contained the evil on this island. His men are all dead, and he decided to burn all of his ships to keep the evil trapped here. When Nathan goes back to the upper floor, he sees Roman and his men holding Elena. Roman ironically thanks him for leading him to El Dorado and says that he's going to hold Elena a prisoner in order to stop Nathan from trying anything creative. Of course, Nathan is not going to give up, and he tries to find a way to save Elena. Soon, he meets with Sully and informs him that Francis Drake was not trying to steal El Dorado, but rather seal it on this island forever. The two of them find Roman and aim their guns at him, but Roman's men sneak behind them and force them to drop their pistols. Roman takes great pride in the fact that he seems to be one step ahead of them, but he's going to receive a surprise himself. Roman admires the statue, while Navarro tells him that this is only the shell, prompting him to open the hatch so they can see the real treasure. Roman opens the statue and sees a mummy stuffed inside. The mummy is infected with an airborne virus, and Roman is infected, turning into a mutant. Roman is angry at Navarro and tries to attack him as a mutant, but Navarro shoots him and kills him. Nathan tells Navarro that he has no idea what he is doing, but the latter replies that he is the only person on the island who knows what they are doing. Navarro's plan is not to get the gold, but rather sell the virus to the right buyer. As his men take the statue, the room is filled with mutants. Nathan and Sully find an opportunity to attack the men guarding them and steal their weapons. At the same time, Navarro's men open fire against the mutants and chaos ensues. Navarro takes Elena with him and runs. Nathan acts fast and he manages to jump on the statue while it is being lifted by a helicopter. One of Navarro's men sees him and tries to shoot him, but Elena takes action and kicks the man out of the helicopter. As the man falls to his death, he also pulls the trigger and accidentally kills the pilot. The helicopter goes into a free fall and ends up crashing on Navarro's ship. Navarro is mad about the fact that he can't get rid of Nathan, so he orders all of his men to find him and kill him. Nathan has to deal with Navarro's men, and he's in a hurry to do so because he wants to check if Elena is fine. Eventually, he gets rid of all the bad guys, and Navarro has to fight for himself. After a fistfight, Nathan is able to knock Navarro out and finally checks on Elena. As he pulls Elena out of the helicopter, Navarro gets back up and he's holding a shotgun. Nathan has an idea and pushes the helicopter into the sea. The rope holding El Dorado wraps around Navarro's ankle and pulls him inside the sea along with the statue. With this neat trick, Nathan deals with Navarro and El Dorado, sending them both to the bottom of the sea where nobody will be able to find them. Now, the reporter and the explorer have some private time together, and Nathan expresses he is sorry they were not able to save any of the footage for Elena's show. On the other hand, Elena tells him that she was able to save the ring he inherited from Francis because she thought Nathan might miss it in the future. Nathan had left the ring on Francis Drake's dead body when he found it because he was disappointed. The two of them get closer to each other as they're about to share their first kiss, but Sully interrupts them when he sails near them with a small boat. Nathan prompts him to jump on their boat, but Sully has a huge amount of explosives with him, and he considers it a good idea to use it to destroy the boat of the bad guys. Nathan agrees with him, so he and Elena jump on these smaller boats to end this adventure. As Sully is driving the boat, Nathan and Elena get closer, indicating that they are interested in evolving this relationship. Uncharted 2: Among Thieves. 2 years after the previous game, in 2010, Nathan is drinking a beer near the beach when Harry Flynn approaches him. The two men know one another, and Harry has come to find him with a mission in mind. Harry has a client who wants him to steal an oil lump from the 13th century located in the Museum of Istanbul. Nathan does not like the idea because he knows 2 people who have died trying to steal something from the Istanbul Museum. Plus, this is a job that requires 3 people to work on. That's when Chloe Fraser appears. Nathan is surprised to see the woman while she shakes his hand and introduces herself. Since Nathan is not convinced yet, Harry shows him a page he has stolen from his client. Nathan starts reading the ancient Latin text and gives us some backstory, revealing that the text has been written by Marco Polo himself. In the 13th century, Marco Polo sailed to Asia along with 600 men. But after his adventure, he returned with only 1 ship and 18 men. Although Marco Polo documented his complete journey in great detail, he did not write about what happened to his fleet. As Nathan continues to read the page, he remarks that Marco Polo was attacked by thieves and some great treasures were stolen from him. The group of 3 believes that Harry's client wants the oil lump because there's a clue hidden in it. That clue might lead them to Polo's great treasure. Chloe speaks for the whole group, asking if they're going to cheat Harry's client, and the other 2 say that they're going to do exactly that. Later, Chloe visits Nathan in his room and he rushes her inside. As it appears, they already know each other, but Harry has no idea about it. Chloe is quite friendly toward Nathan, but the latter tries to keep his distance. Nathan wants to know what's her game plan, but Chloe claims she has no hidden motives. She wants them to work with Harry and find the treasure, then they will split it 3 ways and they will disappear together. Nathan and his new partners are getting ready to enter the Istanbul Museum. Before they begin their operation, Harry seems a bit worried and Nathan asks him to relax. Harry proclaims that he can't relax. He would feel much better if he had a gun on him as an insurance policy. Nathan believes they do not need guns because they have everything mapped out, so they are ready to get started. The group enters a tunnel to make their way inside the museum. Once they are in position, Nathan proceeds with Harry while Chloe takes another path to wait for them with a van ready to go. When the 2 men make it inside the museum, they realize that there are way too many guards around. While navigating their way around, Harry believes that it is time for them to flip the odds in their favor, and he presents Nathan with 2 guns. Nathan scolds him for bringing the guns, but Harry explains that these are just tranquilizer guns, which means they are completely non-lethal. Soon, the 2 of them lay eyes on the room where the lump is kept, and they throw a rope in order to descend in it. Harry picks the lock to open the glass and deactivate the alarm. Nathan steals the lump and breaks it on the ground to see if there is anything hidden in it. He is able to find a piece of paper, but it is totally empty. Harry is disappointed, but Nathan observes that there is resin inside the lump. He lights it up with a lighter, and the fire generated illuminates the scribing on the piece of paper. Now, Nathan is able to read that Marco Polo found the Sintamani stone, and it is probably located on the west coast of the Borneo area. However, Nathan also notices that Marco Polo speaks of it as if it is a curse, but he can't understand why. In any case, the 2 explorers went to find the treasure. Suddenly, Harry starts climbing and he collects the rope, trapping Nathan in the room. He also grabs his real gun and points it at Nathan to make sure that the guards will be able to catch him. Harry leaves when the guards appear, while Nathan tries to find his way out of the museum. Even though he manages to escape, some armed guards wait for him when he emerges out of the sewers. Nathan is kept in a Turkish prison for 2 months until Solly appears to take him out of there, saying that he used all of Nathan's money and some of his own to bribe the right people in the right positions. Chloe appears as well, but Nathan wants nothing to do with her. Chloe claims that she knew nothing of Harry's plan to double-cross him, and she reveals that they have found the ships of the Lost Fleet. By they, Chloe means Harry and his client, Zoran Lazarevich, a man with a lot of power. But the good news is that they have not found the Sintamani stone. Chloe believes that if they work together, they can steal the Sintamani stone right under their nose. Later, the group sits together to plan their mission. Nathan believes that he can figure out where to find the stone if he could take a look at Zoran's files. Chloe informs him that he is keeping his files in his tent, which is located in the middle of the camp at the digging site. Nathan states that Chloe has to create a diversion for him because she is someone that Harry trusts. He only needs 5 minutes with the files and he will figure things out. Chloe can give him the diversion he wants, and the group is ready to take action. Chloe proceeds to meet with Harry and Lazar while Nathan takes Solly near the digging site. Solly plans some explosives and they are ready to be used for later. Soon, they find the middle of the camp and they see Lazarevich blaming Harry for his incompetence. They have been in this place for 3 months and they have not found anything useful. Then, one of his men is caught stealing from the digging site and Lazarevich kills him with a knife. Solly really wants to ruin this guy's day and he activates the explosives. Everybody runs to check what just happened while Nathan approaches Zoran's office. He has to take out a few guys left behind to protect it, but he still makes it inside. Nathan is fascinated by the files he finds in the office, but he also realizes that Lazarevich has not yet found the Sintamani stone. In fact, he is trying to find Shambhala because that must be where the stone is located. The 2 explorers meet with Chloe again, and they enter an underground passage where they find the dead bodies of Marco Polo's crew. Nathan approaches one of those bodies and takes a papyrus from its grip. While he uncovers it, he finds a golden object he calls a furba. Solly has no idea what this object is, so Nathan explains that it was used as a spiritual item for rituals. The papyrus also contains a scribe and a map. Nathan reads that there's a series of temples between India and Tibet. The scribe says that the person who holds the golden key, most probably the furba, will open the temple that will grant them power. That's good enough for the explorers, and they get on their way back. As they climb out of a cave, Chloe hears some noises and leaves them behind. Then, she comes back and pretends that she just found them. Harry arrives with a couple of armed mercenaries and takes the map from Nathan, ordering Chloe to take them to Lazarevich. As they are on their way, Chloe knocks out one of the guards, but the other one tries to shoot her. Solly jumps in and neutralizes the other guard. Chloe gives Nathan the furba and tells him that they should continue on their quest while she will meet them later. Nathan warns her to be careful, but Chloe tells him that she will be able to handle Lazarevich. Nathan and Solly try to escape, but they soon end up at the edge of a cliff. Sully is afraid to jump, while Nathan tries to convince him they have to do it because there is no other way out. When they make it out of here, he will step back and let Nathan find the Sintamani stone alone in Nepal. In a few moments, Harry and a few soldiers find them, so Sully is more than convinced to jump. One day later, Nathan is in Nepal and speaks with Chloe on the phone. Chloe tells him that Lazarevich knows about Nepal because Harry translated the map. She warns Nathan to be careful because Lazarevich has many connections, and his men are everywhere already. Indeed, Nathan is attacked by an armed truck that destroys his own truck. Once he escapes, he has to continue on foot while Zoran's men are on his back. Nathan tries to deal with them, but he is cornered at some point. All of a sudden, Chloe appears behind him holding a rocket-propelled grenade launcher. With that, she takes the bad guys out. Nathan is very happy to see her, and the two of them hug like they are a couple. Chloe informs him that Lazarevich is tearing the city apart in order to find the right temple, so they have to be quick. Nathan takes a look at the Furba and notices that it is covered with a few symbols. He assumes that if they can find a temple with one of these symbols, it could be the one temple they are looking for. Chloe suggests that they get to the tallest building of the city so they can have a good view of it and find the temple. They do so, and they are able to spot the temple with the appropriate symbol. However, they are attacked by Zoran's men, and they have to run for their lives. While running through the city, they stumble on Elena and her cameraman, Jeff. Elena explains that she is following Lazarevich around. The guy is a monster, but the NATO thinks he died in a bombing raid. Elena wants to prove that he is alive and put him behind bars. Tension builds up when Chloe meets Elena and senses that she has a history with Nathan. The explorer wants to take them along in order to keep them safe, but Chloe does not like this idea. Elena does not like it as well, saying that she can take care of herself. In any case, they have to cease their argument when they see a helicopter coming to attack them. As they run for their lives, they find the temple and enter it. Nathan continues with Chloe, and he finds where he has to use the Furba. The item opens several doors for them until they reach the final room where they can use it. When Nathan uses the Furba this time, a depiction of a scenery is created. Nathan grabs his map and marks the spot he believes this scenery is indicating. He and Chloe are very happy they just found their next destination, and they are about to share a kiss, but the mood is ruined when they hear noises from upstairs. They know that there is only one way out of here, and that's by shooting their way to the exit. When they get outside, Nathan sees that Jeff has been injured and tries to carry him along. Chloe tries to talk him out of it because Jeff is stalling them, but Nathan is not going to leave him. Soon, Harry appears, and Chloe pretends she just arrested Nathan again. Chloe is taken to safety because she is injured, while Lazarevich walks in and kills Jeff. Nathan tells him that he will never be able to find the Sintamani stone if he kills him, but Harry searches Nathan and finds the map with the spot he has marked on it. Lazarevich takes the map and orders Harry to kill Nathan and Elena. In a sudden move, Elena punches Harry while Nathan punches the armed man who's guarding him. The two of them manage to run away while Harry shoots behind them. Once they get to safety, Elena wonders what they're going to do now. Nathan tells her that Harry said something about a train, and that's where he is heading next because he wants to get Chloe. Elena wants to stop him from doing that because Chloe pulled a gun on them, but Nathan explains that things are more complicated than that. Chloe knows that if Zoran learns she double-crossed him, he's going to kill her. Since Elena can't talk him out of it, she decides to tag along and help him out. The two of them arrive at the train station, but Nathan makes a mistake and he is spotted. While he fights for his life, the train leaves and Elena comes to pick him up with a vehicle. She drives him near the train and Nathan makes the jump, being forced to leave Elena behind. Now that he's on the train, Nathan is forced to fight his way through every wagon until he finds Chloe. Chloe is angry at him and asks him to leave the train while he still can. Nathan tries to convince her they should leave together, but Chloe tells him that he made his choice when he decided to help Elena and the cameraman. Nathan realizes that Chloe is not going to change her mind, so he tells her that she and Lazarevich deserve one another. Suddenly, Nathan is shot, but it is not Chloe who pulled the trigger. Harry appears behind her and is about to finish Nathan off. Chloe tries to stop him and buys Nathan some time. The explorer jumps on the previous train car, but he's still not safe. Knowing that there is no other way, Nathan creates an explosion and the whole train is derailed. Suddenly, this place starts trembling and Nathan is knocked outside, revealing that he is trapped in a car train that is hanging from a cliff. Nathan starts climbing from wagon to wagon and makes it out of the hanging train. Despite the unfavorable situation, Nathan makes it back on land and finds the furba on the snowy terrain. Nathan loses his senses, but a local finds him and takes him back to his village. Nathan sleeps for a couple of days, but when he wakes up, he finds out that Elena is also in this village. Nonetheless, she is not alone. A German explorer named Karl Schaefer has been living in this village for years, and he narrates that he came here just like Nathan. He was looking for Shambhala, but all of his company died on the way. He was lucky enough to be saved by a local. Karl explains that the bad guys are looking for the Sintamani stone because it grants some kind of special power to the one who will hold it. Nathan does not believe him and wants to stop his expedition because he thinks they are just chasing a myth. Karl asks a local named Tenzin to take Nathan to the proof because he believes the young explorer is going to be convinced. Tenzin takes him back to the mountains where they are forced to fight a monster. Then they find a temple, and Nathan realizes that the Sintamani stone has probably turned a few people into monsters, and that it is connected to the Tree of Life somehow. Nathan also finds some dead bodies with bullets in their heads, assuming that Karl killed them in order to stop them. Soon, more monsters storm into the temple, so Nathan and Tenzin fight their way out of the temple. But when they go outside, they realize that the village has been attacked. Nathan reunites with Elena, who informs him that Lazarevich is here. She also informs them that Lazarevich has Karl and Tenzin's daughter. Nathan and Tenzin open fire against the bad guys, and they are able to save the young girl. However, Karl is being taken away, and Nathan jumps in a truck along with Elena to go after him. The bad guys manage to stall them, and they escape with the German explorer. Nathan grabs his binoculars and sees that Lazarevich has Karl. He and Elena must prepare to go save him. They sneak near Zoran's location, but they have to fight countless armed men before they find Karl. The German explorer is in a bad condition, but he has a few last words to say to Nathan. He explains that the Germans he killed were Nazis, and he had to eliminate them before they got to the stone because that would change the course of history. Before he dies, Karl says that Nathan has to enter the monastery, steal the furba from Lazarevich, and then find the Sintamani stone in order to destroy it before the bad guys get their hands on it. Nathan finds Lazarevich scolding Harry for his incompetence and then steals the furba from Chloe when she is alone. He reunites with Elena and they find the room that opens the passage to Shambhala. However, Lazarevich follows behind them and corners them with his men. Nathan tries to use one of Zoran's men as leverage, but Zoran kills his soldier on his own, saying that powerful men are willing to do what other men can't. Then, he brings in Chloe and asks Nathan if he wants to save her or Elena. Nathan has no other choice but to cooperate and asks him to stop. He opens the gate to Shambhala, but nobody can make it across because the bridge spins. Zoran wants the bridges fixed, so he orders Harry to take Nathan and find out how to adjust the bridges so they can walk on them. Nathan does turn the bridges with Harry, but they are soon attacked by more monsters. Lazarevich intervenes with his men and they kill the monsters. He approaches one of them and discovers that these are humans with masks. Then, he takes the group to Shambhala because he wants Nathan to see it, knowing that Lazarevich is the one who will reap its fruit. As he is about to execute them, some locals attack them and kill a few of his men. Nathan and the girls find an opening and they fight off Zoran's men before making a run toward the forest. Chloe steals a weapon and she runs along with Elena and Nathan. The group is attacked by both Zoran's men and the locals, and they are temporarily trapped. Chloe tries to tell the other two that they should find a way to leave this place, but Nathan replies that they have to find the stone and destroy it. Chloe considers that the Sintamani stone is a myth and it can't grant any kind of power to anyone. On the other hand, Elena asks her to stop and think for a minute. They are in the middle of Shambhala right now, a place that is supposed to be a myth. Elena and Nathan are not going back without finding the stone because this might make a huge difference in the world. Chloe is convinced to go with them. Soon, they find the supposed Sintamani stone, but Nathan realizes that there is no stone. What they have been looking for is just tree sap coming from the Tree of Life. The humans living here must be drinking it, and that's why they have the appearance they have. Lazarevich reaches the Tree of Life first, and the group tries to figure out what they should do next. At the same time, an injured Harry joins them, and he detonates a hand grenade. Elena is injured, and Nathan asks Chloe to take her out of there. As for himself, he has to stop Lazarevich. Lazarevich drinks from the sap, and his wounds are healed. He also becomes stronger, but not invincible. Nathan is able to defeat him, and then lets the locals finish him off. The young explorer reunites with Elena and Chloe, and they make it back to Tenzin's village. While Sully is taking care of Elena, Chloe tells Nathan that she knows they have no future together. She also understands that Nathan likes Elena and asks him to tell her. When they get a moment alone, Nathan kisses Elena, and she asks him what they are going to do from here. Nathan replies that he has not thought about it, but Elena says the same thing, indicating that they might just stick together. After some time, between 2010 and 2011, Nathan and Elena marry in unknown circumstances. However, Nathan's phobia of commitment and lust for adventure places great strain on the marriage, and the two separate, becoming estranged. Elena keeps her wedding ring, and Sully looks after Nathan's without his knowledge. Uncharted: The Fourth Labyrinth. Sometime after Nathan's and Elena's separation, the same year, Nathan is called to New York by Sully to investigate the murder of Luca, an old friend. Luca's daughter, Jada, believes his death is linked to his research on labyrinths designed by Daedalus. After surviving an attack and a fire that destroys Luca's apartment, Nathan, Sully, and Jada head to Egypt, where they find Luca's journal confirming theories about a fourth labyrinth. At the dig site, they uncover ancient chambers and clues pointing to the labyrinth's location on the island of Terra. In Terra, they find evidence of a fourth labyrinth in China, but Henriksen has found them and his men have attacked the group. Henriksen is the CEO of Phoenix Innovations, a weapons manufacturing company, and he is also an antiques collector. After escaping an ambush, Nate and Jada follow the trail to Nanjing, where they locate the fourth labyrinth. They discover that Daedalus used the labyrinths to store treasure and control workers with a mysterious substance, white hellebore, which created mutations like the Minotaur. Inside the labyrinth, they face brainwashed enemies, mercenaries, and deadly traps. Olivia, Jada's stepmother, who is also working for Henriksen, triggers a flood while trying to steal treasure. It turns out she was a double agent and was just there for the money, but while trying to escape, she's killed by a Minotaur. Nathan, Sully, and Jada escape, ensuring the secrets of the labyrinth and white hellebore remain hidden. Uncharted 3: Drake's Deception. In 2012, Nathan and his friend Sully are seen walking into a pub. The bartender signals them to enter an office. When they enter, a man named Cutter searches them but does not find any weapons on them. Then, the duo meets a man named Talbot, who asks them if they have Francis Drake's ring. Nathan has it, but Sully wants to see the money first. Talbot gives them a case full of money and then asks for the ring. Nathan removes it from his neck and gives it to Talbot, who starts examining it to see if it's legit. As he does, Nathan remarks that the money Talbot gave them is fake. Sully examines it as well and agrees. Nathan gets his ring back and intends to walk out with Sully. However, Talbot can't disappoint his client, and he wants to get the ring no matter what. Therefore, he orders his men to attack the duo. Nathan and Sully fight their way through the pub, even though they have to deal with some nasty guys. Eventually, they are able to run outside, but they are cornered in an alley by Cutter and his boys. The duo receives a beating and they fall to the ground. Soon, a car appears, and a woman named Kate Marlowe steps out of it. Both Sully and Nathan know her. Kate gives them a speech, saying that Sully and his protege are stealing working in the sewers, hoping to find something that will make them rich. Kate has no intention of killing them, so she just takes the ring from Nathan. However, Cutter snaps and shoots Nathan. Then he shoots Sully. Kate is angry at him for not listening to her words, but Cutter justifies himself because nobody's going to miss these two guys. When Kate's car leaves, Cutter tells the duo that they can get up now. As it appears, Cutter is working with Sully and Nathan, who complain about the punches Cutter landed on them. But the man had to make their fight look realistic. Nathan pulls the real ring from his pocket, commenting that Kate took the bait and stole a fake ring from him. Then, the group meets with Chloe, who has been trailing Kate's car. Chloe shows them a garage where the car entered, and the group grabs some guns to get ready for a fight. But when they get into the garage, there's nothing inside. Nathan checks the place because the car could not have disappeared out of thin air. In a matter of minutes, Nathan finds the secret. The wall in front of them opens up. Chloe goes back to the van to be ready to assist them if they need it, while the rest of the group walks through the tunnel in front of them. The three men find Kate and Talbot as she's trying to place the ring on the decoder. She seems very happy that she's going to reveal Francis Drake's secrets, but the ring does not work. Talbot examines it and states that this is not the ring he held in his hands. Although he saw Nathan putting the ring around his neck, they were tricked by him. They also figure out that Cutter helped them. Kate is angry and orders her men to find them and get her ring. When the room is empty, Nathan puts the ring on the decoder and an anagram is revealed. When he puts it together, he figures out that it is talking about the Golden Hind, Francis Drake's ship. Nathan believes this is a clue left by Francis, but the room is filled with Kate's men and the good guys have to fight for their lives. Nathan manages to steal some pages and a notebook before they can make it out of there. Chloe waits for them right outside and she takes them to safety. Once they have some time to unwind, Nathan reads the pages he stole and discovers that they're talking about a lost city in the desert. Francis Drake was not the only person looking for this lost city, but Lawrence of Arabia was looking for it as well. The city has been called by many names, such as Atlantis of the Sands, Ubar, or Iram of Pillars, but all the myths speak of the same place. Chloe makes a good observation, asking why Francis would keep this city a secret from Queen Elizabeth when she was the one who sent him on expeditions. Maybe there is something there that should stay a secret. On the other hand, Kate is also looking for the lost city, and they should get to it before she does. Nathan explains that their next clues are located in France and Syria. He will take Sully to France, while Chloe will go to Syria with Cutter. Nathan takes Sully to eastern France to find a chateau, but they are soon attacked by Talbot's men. The duo gets rid of them, but they find one of those men's bodies decomposing. It looks as if the body has been dead for years, even though Talbot's men just got here. This is very strange, but the explorers don't have any answers right now. In any case, they find what they are looking for when they find an ancient tomb. Once they open it, they find half of an amulet. Nathan remarks that there is a script written on it saying that it guides them to Yemen. Sully hopes that Cutter and Chloe will find the other half of the amulet in Syria so they can complete the puzzle. Nonetheless, their plans are flipped when they see Talbot and his men waiting for them. Nathan tries to react when one of the men tries to take the half amulet, but Talbot shoots him in the arm. Suddenly, the place is filled with big bugs that attack them. Talbot takes his men away, leaving Nathan and Sully to die, but the duo escapes. Sully has to sit down in order to catch his breath, and he reminds Nathan that these guys are very dangerous. He wants to know why they are doing this, but Nathan smells that Sully is going to give him a speech, saying that he will not allow Sully to quit. Sully has no intention of quitting, but he wants to know they're doing this for the right reasons. He believes Nathan is too attached to this mission, and that is making him reckless. When Sully is ready to go, Nathan assumes that Cutter and Chloe might be in danger in Syria because they might have been followed just like them. The following night, Nathan and Sully are in Syria to make sure their friends are safe. They meet with them while they are working, and Cutter presents Nathan with a journal. He has discovered that many of the people working for Queen Elizabeth were members of a secret order. That order is still active to this day, and Kate is running it. The group gets back to work, but they have to divide into two smaller groups at some point. Talbot appears out of nowhere and shoots a dart on Cutter's neck when he finds him alone. Cutter starts losing it and he gives Talbot his gun and the journal when he's asked to do it. Nathan reunites with the other two and they find Cutter, but it is already too late as Talbot leaves with the journal. When they approach Cutter, they realize that he's been shot with a dart which causes him to hallucinate, as Cutter tells them that the floor is melting and Sully's face is peeling off. The group is on the move again and they are able to find the second half of the amulet. Cutter wants to see Nathan's half, but he informs the team that it was taken by Talbot. However, he has made a perfect design of it in his journal. Nathan compares the half amulet to his design and declares that now they know where to go in Yemen. However, the team is attacked again, and Talbot steals the other half of the amulet. Cutter hurts his leg and can't continue on this adventure, while Chloe tries to convince Nathan that this time they should stop. Nathan states that he's not going to let Kate win, and he asks Sully if he's going to follow him in Yemen. Sully is going with him and remarks that they need a quick way in. He has somebody who he can call, but Nathan doesn't like the idea when he understands whom Sully is referring to. Soon, the two of them fly to Yemen to meet with Elena, who provides them with IDs to make them look like journalists. Sully gives them a moment, as they used to be married, but have grown distant from one another. When they make it to the city, they see Talbot is already here, and Nathan steals the journal from him. The group finds the designated spot, and they are about to go deep underground to see what this treasure has in store for them. One thing leads to the next, and the group discovers a celestial map. That leads them to a room where Elena realizes that Francis Drake found this place in the past, but he was so afraid that he turned around and left. She asks Nathan to do the same, but the young explorer is not yet finished. When they go back up to the city, Nathan is shot with a hallucinogenic dart, and he starts running like crazy. When he wakes up, Nathan is sitting at a table with Kate and Talbot, who try to mess with his head. The explorer tries to escape, but he is seized by a group of pirates working for Kate. Their leader wants to learn where the lost city of Iram is located, but Nathan escapes his custody as well. Soon, Nathan is washed up on the shore and he walks back to the city. He makes it to Elena's apartment, and she's happy to see him because she really thought he was dead this time. She also informs him that Sully is fine, but Kate has taken him. The bad guys are in a convoy toward the deserts, and they have a 2-day head start on them. Nathan wants to get going, but Elena tells him that they are never going to get them in time. Then, she tells him that a plane is going to drop some supplies to Talbot and his crew, so they can get on that plane and parachute nearby. Elena suggests to Nathan to get some sleep for a couple of hours, and the two of them have a heartfelt conversation. Nathan apologizes to her for the way their relationship turned out before falling asleep in her lap. At dawn, the two of them get to the airport and they prepare their pistols. Elena comments that she does not like guns, but Nathan does not like them either. On the other hand, they have to use them because this is a very dangerous situation and they might get killed otherwise. When they reach the plane, Nathan stops and asks Elena to go back. She doesn't want to leave him alone, but Nathan tells her that he can't afford to lose her. Elena agrees to leave, and Nathan runs to the plane. However, the bad guys smell his presence, and a fight ensues which sends the plane down. Nathan has to jump early, along with a supply crate, and he ends up in the desert alone. Nathan has no idea which way he should go and walks in circles for a couple of days. He sees several optical illusions in the desert and only finds drained wells with no drops of water. After some time, Nathan finds an abandoned village, but he also finds some thieves in it. He engages in a gunfight with them until he is saved by a Bedouin tribe led by a man named Salim. When they get to safety, Salim wants to know what Nathan is doing here, so the American explains that he wants to stop the English convoy from reaching the city of Ubar. They are keeping his friend hostage because he is the only one who can find the city, but once they find it, he will be useless to them and they will kill him. Salim proclaims that everybody will be dead if they reach the Iram of Pillars. He narrates that King Solomon commanded the power of the jinn 3,000 years ago, but the evil spirits rebelled against him. Solomon captured the spirits in a vessel and imprisoned them in the Iram of Pillars. If anybody reaches the city, those evil spirits will be unleashed into the world. Finally, Salim remarks that they are outnumbered, but they will still attack the convoy tomorrow at dawn. Indeed, Nathan joins the Bedouins as they attack the English convoy the next morning, and they are able to save Sully. The experienced explorer tells them that they need to hurry to stop Kate. Even though he has no idea what she is after, he is certain it is not a treasure. As they are about to continue their attack, a sandstorm hits them and the duo is separated by the group of Bedouins. Despite this setback, they are able to find the city, the Atlantis of the Sands. The city is impressive, but there are no inhabitants in it. Nathan and Sully find a fountain and the young explorer drinks some water. Then, he and Sully witness an eclipse taking place. Suddenly, Sully is shot from behind by Talbot and Kate, falling dead on the ground. Nathan goes after them to get revenge, but somehow he ends up in Colombia. The scenery becomes even weirder, and we can now figure out that something is off. After fighting off a few enemies, Nathan finds Sully again and wonders how he is still alive. Sully informs him that he started running when he drank from that fountain. The two of them figure out that the water must contain some kind of hallucinogenic asset, and that's what led to the destruction of this city, because the people probably got crazy. As for Kate, she must be wanting the asset contained in the water to use it as a weapon against her enemies. The duo agrees that they have to stop Kate, and they get moving. When they see Kate doing her work, Nathan starts causing explosions here and there, destroying the pillars of the city. The city starts collapsing, and Kate is trapped in a massive pool of quicksand. Nathan tries to save her, but Kate is swallowed by the sand, along with Francis Drake's ring. While they are trying to exit the city, Sully and Nathan are attacked by Talbot, but he stands no chance against them. Finally, Salim appears with 2 horses to take them away. As they escape the lost city, they see it being destroyed from afar. Nathan comments that this is one more of their adventures that ends with them getting no wealth at all. Sully shows him a bunch of golden coins, which should be enough to get them along for a couple of months. The next day, Sully takes Nathan to an airport and tells him he wants to have a talk while they wait for Elena to arrive. Sully states that he had a lousy father and a lousy childhood, and he never wanted kids, but he changed when he met Nathan. He made a lot of mistakes, but he wants to prevent Nathan from making the same mistakes as him. Sully gives Nathan his wedding ring and signals him to Elena when she joins them. Nathan proceeds to greet his wife as she tells him that she is sorry he lost Francis Drake's ring. Nathan tells her that he swapped for something better, showing her that he is wearing his wedding ring on his finger. The two of them hug before joining Sully, who takes them to his new plane. It is time for them to get out of here. Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. Several years later, in 2015, Nathan is spending his days as a salvage worker. His boss, Jameson, wants to have a talk with him after work to tell him about a wreck in Malaysia. He has a client who is paying good money to retrieve that wrecked ship. They could both use the money to retire. Nathan wants to stay away from his old life, so he declines the proposition. However, he can't deny the fact that living a normal life is very boring to him. When he tells his wife Elena about it, she prompts him to take the job since it doesn't sound very dangerous. She also suggests he can include Sully in it because they haven't seen each other in 2 years. Elena is worried Nathan is not taking the job because of her, but he clarifies he is not taking it because of himself. Plus, something always goes wrong, so he doesn't want to take the risk. That night, Nathan goes to his office to do some paperwork and has an unexpected visitor. His brother Sam appears out of nowhere to show him he's alive. Nathan can't believe his eyes, and Sam explains that he survived the shots. The prison's doctors patched him up and threw him back in his cell. Nathan exclaims that he called the prison and tried to find out if he was alive, but every clue pointed to his death. Sam reminds him that they killed a guard, so the rest of the guards wanted to see him rot in his cell. As the two brothers catch up, Nathan tells Sam about all of his crazy adventures. The whole night passes by, and now it's Sam's turn to talk. He is here because he wants to find Avery's treasure, but before that, he has to explain how he got out of prison. At some point, a powerful man named Hector Alcazar was brought in as his cellmate. Sam used to mumble about how much he wanted to find Avery's treasure, and Hector took it quite seriously. One night, Hector's men broke into the prison, guns blazing, and broke them out. Hector kind of forced Sam to find the treasure. When he does, he will have to split it in half with Hector. Hector's given him 3 months to find the treasure, or else he will be in trouble. Nathan informs him that Rafe bought the whole area around the Dismas Cathedral, but he hasn't been able to find anything all these years. However, Sam explains that Avery made many crucifixion depictions, and their next clue might be found inside another St. Dismas item that is going to be sold in a black market auction. Sam wants Nathan's help to steal the item, but his brother remarks that he's left his old life behind. He says that he can get Cutter or someone else to help him, but Sam does not trust anyone else with his life. Sam reminds him that he does not have much time, convincing Nathan to help him. Since Elena has no idea that Nathan has a brother, he calls her and lies to her that Jameson got a legal permit for the Malaysia job, so he is going to work on that after all. Next, Nathan comes up with the plan. Sully will help them out by entering the auction as a bidder. Then, he will unlock a window for them and they will break in. The plan plays out very well, but when the brothers meet Sully, he tells them that the order of the auction has been changed. Avery's cross is going first, and it is already down in the hall. Sam believes that the only way to steal the cross from there is to dress as a waiter, because a waiter would not be noticed. As the brothers get to work, Sully is approached by Nadine, a powerful woman who owns a private army. Soon, Rafe joins the auction as well. At first, he makes some small talk with Sully, but then gets aggressive and asks him how he learned about the cross. Sully doesn't open up, but that makes Rafe even more aggressive. He warns Sully that if he dares to bid on the cross, he will leave this place in a body bag. Sully communicates with Nathan through the radio to tell him that the cross will be gone in a while because Rafe is here. Nathan tells him to bid against him, but Sully replies that he doesn't have that kind of money. Nonetheless, Nathan explains that it doesn't matter because they're going to steal the cross. When Sully wins the bid, they won't be able to give him the cross, so nobody will know he was just bluffing. Rafe and Sully keep bidding back and forth until Nathan says that he's about to cut the lights. Rafe wins the bid, but then the room goes dark. When the backup lights come back up, the cross is gone and Sully is leaving the room. Nathan intends to leave the building like nothing ever happened, but he stumbles on Nadine and she serves him a good beating. She throws him out of a window, but Nathan is good with parkour, so he manages to hold on and escape. After managing to stay alive against the security guards, he reaches Sully and Sam and the group drives away. When they are safe, Sam breaks the cross and finds the letter inside of it. In the letter, they are able to read a few dates and a phrase. Nathan figures out that the letter is referring to St. Dismas' grave, which is located near the cathedral. All this time, Rafe has been focusing on the wrong area. The group flies to Scotland and they soon find the grave they have been investigating. Unexpectedly, they realize that another pirate named Thomas II has left his mark on this spot. At some point, the brothers overhear Rafe speaking with Nadine. The two of them have a fight because they lost the cross. Nadine hypothesizes that Rafe wanted to bid for the cross in the auction instead of stealing it before it reached the auction because he wanted to draw Nathan out. Maybe he thinks he needs Nathan to find the treasure. The brothers continue on their quest and they find King's Bay, but there's no treasure in it. Nadine and her men find them, but the brothers activate a trap and they manage to escape. They make it to Sully's plane and they fly away. Sam is disappointed because they didn't find any treasure, but Nathan has a theory. He tells Sully to take them to Madagascar in an area named King's Bay. Nathan notes that Avery sent crosses to the other wealthy people of the time, such as Thomas II, and that could mean that he invited them to pool their treasures together in order to protect them, because all of them were wanted people. If this scenario is true, it would mean that they will find plenty of gold. When they reach King's Bay, Nathan realizes that the treasure must be hidden in one of two high towers. Sam will check one of the towers while Sully and Nathan will check the other. The duo navigates their tower and Nathan takes some pictures of the clues he finds. He sends the pictures to Sam and then receives a phone call, assuming that his brother is calling to tell him his thoughts. However, Rafe is the one calling him, as he has hacked their phones and he has also seen the pictures. Rafe makes Nathan a one-time offer, asking him to give up on the treasure and go home. Nathan replies that he is ahead on this hunt, so it makes no sense for him to quit now. Before hanging up, Rafe reminds Nathan that their phones are equipped with a GPS, which means that he is coming for them. Nathan calls his brother immediately to tell him to ditch his phone, while Sam has to run since Nadine's men have already found him. Nathan and Sully have to use their guns to make it through the city, but they're forced to take separate paths. Nathan meets with Sam, and they manage to escape Nadine's men. When they meet with Sully again, Nathan figures out that the treasure must be located on a small island near King's Bay. As it appears, Avery and Tu were the founders of a pirate utopia they decided to call Libertalia. When they get in their house, Nathan sees Elena waiting for him, who sarcastically asks him how the Malaysia job is going. Nathan explains to her that he has a brother who he considered to be dead and has to save him from the people who are after him. Elena is mad, but Nathan says that he did not tell her the truth because he knew she would react this way. On the other hand, Elena blames him that he was afraid to face her. She tells him to do what he has to do as she leaves. Sully tries to talk Nathan into going after his wife, but the explorer is really angry and snaps at Sully. telling him to go look after Elena if he wants to be useful. The next morning, the brothers approach the island by boat. Sam grabs a beer for them to celebrate the fact that they are so close to the treasure. Sam also tries to calm his brother down, saying that Elena is going to get over it. When the brothers approach the island, they are certain they have found Libertalia, but Rafe's men crash the party. The brothers run back to the boat, but a storm hits them while they're being hunted by Rafe's guys. Nathan ends up in the sea, and he is washed out to the shore. The problem is, he has lost contact with his brother and has no idea where to find him or even if he is alive. Soon, the brothers find each other and Sam is eager to search for the treasure. However, Nathan wants to take a moment because the two of them have no escape plan and no resources right now. Plus, Nadine's army is here. Nathan believes that they need to secure a boat first and then go for the treasure, but Sam is not hearing any of it. The brothers end up fighting, comparing what they have put on the line to be here. Nonetheless, they stop their fight when they find more signs of being near Libertalia. The brothers find the main city, but sadly notice that there is no treasure around. Sam wonders if Rafe got here first, but the place is so dusty that Nathan deduces nobody's been here for years. On the walls, Nathan notices the paintings of the founder pirates with the word thief written on them. The treasure was here, but it was probably moved because some of the pirates tried to steal the treasure to themselves. Thankfully, there is a map on the island on the roof of the building's remains. Sam assumes Avery was the one to make this map, indicating that they moved the treasure to the other side of the island. The brothers climb a tower to get on their way, but Nadine waits for them and a fight ensues. Sam holds Nadine at gunpoint, but Rafe and a few of his men join the party. Things get a bit tense as everybody points their guns at the other party. Sam almost shoots Nadine, but Nathan moves his hand and the woman is not shot in the head. Nathan wants to calm everybody down and then tries to cut a deal with Rafe. He says that they will help him find the treasure, but they will need a small cut from the treasure to buy his brother's liberty. Rafe starts laughing and informs Nathan that Hector Alcazar died 6 months ago in a shootout in Argentina. Not that it matters, because Rafe was the one who bought Sam's freedom and hired him to help him find the treasure. Nathan is not happy to hear that, while Rafe tries to shoot him because he thinks he only needs Sam to find the treasure. Sam gets in the way and the bullet hits his shoulder while Nathan is pushed backward and falls down the cliff. Elena saves Nathan and takes care of him while he tells her stories about his childhood with Sam. Then, they communicate with Solly, who's coming to them on a plane. Nathan states that they need to save Sam and get out of there. Solly asks about the treasure, but Nathan tells him to forget about it because they do not need it. The two of them get moving and fight against some of Rafe's men. When they get some time to relax for a couple of minutes, Nathan apologizes to Elena because he promised her he was done with this life. He admits he avoided facing her because he feared losing her. Elena makes no comments except that they should keep moving. Soon, they arrive near Sam's location, seeing that he is still alive but has lots of men around him. As they work their way around, they stumble on the dead bodies of the founding pirates of Libertalia. All of them appear to have died of poisoning, but Avery and Tu are not among them. Nathan assumes that the pirates dealt with the colonists together, but then they had to deal with one another. Avery probably invited them, made a big toast, and then poisoned them. So the great treasure of these pirates became the sole possession of just 2 men, Avery and Tu. As they keep looking for Sam, Nathan finds a letter written by Tu, prompting his men to stop Avery from leaving because he is prepping his ship. Nathan and Elena find Sam, while Solly also meets with them. Nathan wonders how his brother managed to escape, and the latter explains that he led Rafe and his people right through one of Avery's traps. Then, Solly shows them the way to his plane, but Sam wants to go toward the treasure. Nathan tells him that he needs to stop being obsessed. They are not those kids anymore, and they have nothing to prove. Sam understands that the rest of the group is determined to leave the island, so he goes along with them. Despite this decision, Sam changes his mind on the way and abandons the group. Nathan has no idea what to do, but Elena prompts him to save his brother because he's probably going to get himself killed. Nathan proceeds to go find his brother alone, asking Solly and Elena to bring the plane as close to the mountain as possible. In the meantime, Nadine and Rafe have found the ship as well, but she is afraid to get on it. Her men have loaded some gold they've found around while she sees Sam stealing one of their boats and heading toward Avery's ship. Rafe wants to go after him, but Nadine informs him that most of her men are dead and they already have enough gold to make millions. But that's not enough for Rafe, so the two of them start fighting. Even though Nadine knocks him down, Rafe is protected by the mercenaries because he has paid them more money than Nadine. Since she has no other choice, Nadine plays along and goes with him. A few moments later, Nathan makes it into the ship and sees that his brother is trapped. He points his gun at Rafe and they threaten each other, but Nadine appears behind him and Nathan has to surrender his gun. But then, Nadine sneaks behind Rafe and takes his gun as well. She tells them that they are obsessed with this treasure and they deserve what's coming to them. In the corner, Nathan notices the dead bodies of Avery and Tu, who apparently killed each other. Nadine just leaves, trapping them into the ship. Rafe grabs a sword to attack Nathan, but he dies when he's smashed by a piece of furniture. Sam prompts Nathan to leave alone because he can't make it out, but his little brother shoots a pirate cannon to destroy the ship and flood it. The water current carries both of them out and they swim for their lives. Soon, they make it to the plane and they're ready to get away from that island. Sam and his brother have a talk before they greet each other goodbye. The older brother proclaims that he believed he would feel satisfied when they would find Avery's treasure, but he's still feeling emptiness inside of him. Once Nathan and Elena leave, Sam asks Solly what his plan is for the future, and the experienced explorer states that he's working on a business deal with some dangerous people. Sam offers his services and the two of them leave together. Back home, Jameson walks into Nathan's office and announces that he sold the business. Nathan wonders who bought it, and Jameson tosses the keys to him before walking outside. Nathan follows him and sees Elena waiting for him. She explains to Nathan that they're going to buy the salvage business so they can keep being adventurous in a legal way. She informs him that she's gotten the permits for the Malaysia salvage and they can start working. She also says that she's bought some new camera gear to revive her old exploration show. Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. For the first time in the franchise, Uncharted: The Lost Legacy follows a different main character. Instead of Nathan, the story follows Chloe Fraser, who you probably remember from Uncharted 3. In 2016, Chloe, along with Nadine Ross, travels to the southwestern district of India, looking for a new treasure, the tusk of Ganesh, the son of the goddess Shiva. Chloe mounts a truck that belongs to a group of insurgents and finds where the rest of them are hiding. However, she is caught up in a fight with some of them and has to defend herself. When she knocks them out, Nadine appears to tell her that she has to be more careful. As they discuss their next moves, Chloe reminds Nadine that they are not partners. Nadine is working for her, and she will be paid her cut when they find the treasure. Therefore, Chloe makes it clear that she expects Nadine to follow her instructions without question. Right next, the two of them break into an office and find an artifact. A few insurgents find them and aim their guns at them before their leader, Asav, walks in. Asav knows Nadine and is disappointed seeing her working for a thief after somebody else took control of the army of mercenaries she used to own. Asav is required to get the disc Chloe just stole, but she tells him that they could work together to find this treasure. She claims she is an expert who can help Asav. On the other hand, the leader of the insurgents has no intention of working with a thief who only wants to fatten her pockets, as he puts it. He also states that he already has an expert, so he orders his men to kill them. The two women make a run and jump outside through the window. When they get to safety, Nadine asks Chloe if she has made any progress with the disc. She's in a hurry because she knows they are alone against an army of hundreds of insurgents. Chloe places the disc on a table and outlines that its edges depict several weapons used by the Indian gods. She assumes that they're going to find the treasure by following these symbols. At dawn, the two of them are in the forest, ready to look for the treasure. Nadine remarks that there is no sign of Asav yet, and Chloe comments that his expert is not as good as them. Chloe sees something that looks like a building in the distance and assumes that it might be a temple. The two explorers make it to the temple, but they're attacked by a group of insurgents, which means that they can't make it inside from the front gate. They navigate their way around to find another way, while they also fight against the insurgents. Chloe finds a lot of symbols all around the forest, but she has not gotten anywhere near the treasure just yet. When she reaches a mountaintop with Nadine, they try to decide which peak they should search next. The two of them engage in a conversation where Chloe narrates that her father was an adventurer who was obsessed with the tusk of Ganesh. He spent too much time and resources looking for it, but he never found anything. Despite this, he taught Chloe many things. As for Nadine, she reveals that she inherited the mercenary company from her parents, but probably did a lousy job running it, so she was kicked out. Later, they expand more on their conversation, and now Chloe reveals that her father sent her and her mother away from home, saying that it was not safe for them to be near him. But here they are, and Chloe's looking for the treasure herself. Soon, Chloe takes Nadine through an impressive range of mountains until they find a temple built deep inside them. Chloe has to solve many puzzles, but when they solve the last puzzle, they find nothing. Nadine considers the possibility of a Sov tricking them and allowing them to have the disc in order to send them in a fool's errand, but Chloe thinks there might be something else going on. She makes an assumption that the king created this impressive series of temples on the mountains to draw the attention of the Persian attackers. They would naturally come here first, believing that they can get their hands on many riches. But maybe this place was just a diversion, and the real treasure is located in the old capital. But before they get there, they have to deal with the insurgents because they have made too much noise and they have attracted their attention. At some point, the girls are trapped and Asaf joins them with his men. He tells Chloe that he is impressed with her work, and she comments that Asaf probably hired the wrong expert to help him. In any case, Asaf wants to get rid of them and points his gun at Chloe as he is about to shoot. Nadine tries to fight Asaf's men, and that distracts Asaf's attention for just a second. 1 second is enough for Chloe, who knocks his gun off his hands and fights him off. Eventually, Chloe and Nadine use the water current to escape. Soon, the explorers finds the entrance to the old capital, but Asaf is already there. Unexpectedly, Nadine sees Sam Drake being brought by Asaf's men and feels infuriated since they are old rivals. Nonetheless, Nadine says she can kill him along with Asaf. On the other hand, Chloe asks her to calm down because Sam is the reason she is here. She hired Sam to come here first to do some reckoning, but then he stopped communicating with her, so she came here to see what happened. She reassures Nadine that this changes nothing, and she will still get her cut. Nadine punches Chloe and exclaims that she can't trust her before driving away with the Jeep. Chloe catches up with Nadine and finds her trying to enter the old capital. Chloe solves the puzzle and opens a gate, but before they get in, they need to clarify a few things. Chloe needs Nadine's help, and their deal is not going to change. Nadine decides to stick around for now, but she states that her priority is the Tusk of Ganesh, not Sam, and certainly not Chloe. However, the two of them get close again when they save an elephant and ride it. Nadine asks what happened to Chloe's father, and the latter narrates that the Ministry of Culture funded his last expedition. Unfortunately, his camp was raided by bandits, and he was found dead by the local authorities a few weeks later. While they browse the city, they find the Tusk of Ganesh, but this is not the original one. Judging from the symbolism, Chloe concludes that the tusk is not a symbol of power, but rather a symbol of the people. Chloe also realizes that her father has been here when she sees a few items that resemble an item she is carrying, which her father gave to her. When she places her item to sit with the rest, it matches perfectly. Chloe feels connected to this place and proclaims that she can't allow Asaf to have the tusk. Nadine agrees with her and reassures her that she is going to help. But dealing with Asaf's men is not going to be easy since they're outnumbered and the insurgents literally have bigger guns. As Chloe and Nadine try to fight them, the insurgents use a rocket-propelled grenade launcher and sends the explorers flying. Asaf manages to arrest them and takes them to Sam for a reunion. Sam is in a bad condition, clearly beaten by Asaf. The leader of the insurgents states that Sam has been running him in circles, but now it is time to finish what they started. Asaf takes them to the chamber where the tusk must be located, but there is one more puzzle to be solved. Asaf threatens that he's going to kill Sam and Nadine if Chloe does not help him. Since he's pretty serious about it, Chloe solves the puzzle and Asaf grabs the tusk. Then, he handcuffs everyone in the chamber as his men plant explosives around. Asaf explains that he's going to flood the chamber, giving them a speech about purification through water. Once Asaf and his men leave, the The explosives are detonated, but Chloe is fast enough to pick the lock of the handcuffs so they can all escape. When they are safe, Sam informs the other two that Asav's plan is to sell the tusks to a buyer because he wants to raise funds to start a civil war in India somehow. Sam also tries to make amends with Nadine. Even though they are good for now, they are far from being friends. The trio follows Asav, and they soon see him giving the tusks to another man. Nadine calls this man Orca, and she knows him because he used to be her lieutenant when she was the leader of the mercenaries. But now, Orca is the one running things. Orca boards a helicopter to escape with the tusk, but Chloe is determined to stop him. She shoots the helicopter with a rocket-propelled grenade launcher to stun it, and then climbs on it by using a rope along with Nadine. The two of them fight Orca while the helicopter goes down. All of them survive the crash while the tusk is still in Orca's hands. Nadine has a talk with him, saying that she would not expect him to trade ammunition for an ancient artifact because that is not his style. Orca laughs her words off as a train departs, saying that they're going to miss the fireworks if they keep talking. Suddenly, Orca tries to grab his backup gun, but Nadine shoots him first and kills him. At the same time, Chloe finds a blueprint of the train, and putting the clues together, she realizes that the train has a bomb on it. These tracks lead to the market, so that's probably where Asav will use the bomb. If he does it, thousands of people will die, and the civil war will be sparked. Chloe wants to go after the train, but the other two try to talk her out of it. Even if she gets on the train, Nadine believes that she won't be able to defuse the bomb. Chloe knows that, and she states that she's okay with the idea of dying. Since she is not stopping, Sam and Nadine jump on the Jeep to go with her. When they approach the train, Nadine jumps on it first and then pulls Chloe up as Sam takes control of the Jeep. The duo has to fight through Asav's guards, and they soon find the bomb. They can't disarm it, and it is too heavy for them to move, so they decide to go for the engine. The plan doesn't work, so Chloe temporarily jumps off the train to change the tracks by pushing a lever to change the train's course. Then she jumps back on the train and gets ready for a final fight against Asav. She and Nadine are able to defeat him and then make the jump while the train falls to its destruction along with Asav. As this adventure is near its end, the trio takes a moment to enjoy the sunset. Sam wonders how much money they are going to get by selling the tusk, but Chloe tells him that they are going to donate it to the Ministry of Culture. Sam thinks she is joking, but then realizes that she is serious about it. A few years after the events of Lost Legacy, somewhere between 2017 and 2018, Nathan and Elena have their daughter Cassie, named after Nate's late mother, Cassandra. 20 years later, Cassie, now a grown woman, stumbles on Nate's journal, which is full of notes and pictures of Avery's treasure. Cassie wants to know about the secrets of her parents, so they have a talk with her and narrates their stories.